like so close to just like being admitted to the hospital. I'm like, put me on like a feeding tube. Like I don't care. I have nothing to live for.
Oh my God, you're
Like
gonna be fine.
no, I'm like so over it. Like I just can't do it anymore. Would you come visit me in the ward?
Yeah, I'd bring the podcast microphone so we wouldn't fall behind on an episode.
Okay, cool. We could interview people in the ward. It might be kind of fun
Just
since
so
we have
everyone does know, Samira has the flu. It's not.
IL Mills hereby requests Josh Ovalle for collaboration with the Internet is Dead podcast. Please, Josh, be a guest on the podcast. We miss you.
Samira's sick.
So sick right
my
now.
gosh.
You're
I'm
gonna
getting
notice
over
that.
it. You're gonna notice it. My voice doesn't normally sound like this. I sound like I'm like a 12-year-old boy going through puberty.
I think it sounds kind of cool.
Thank you.
You
rasp
guys
to it?
kind of have the same, because you kind of have a rasp to you, Elle.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but your rasp is like like it sounds like cool, you know?
Okay, well, thank you. Appreciate that. But what
And
do you
I'm-
have? Do you just have like a cold or?
It's just the flu. No, but we're really excited to talk to you. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
no, thank you
no.
for talking to me even though you're sick.
Yeah, of
appreciate it.
course.
I was
We're
like
so
watching
excited.
your old videos last night and it was making me so happy because like that was childhood.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Like that was childhood to me, like you and just like all the YouTubers that were existing at like the time of like 7 years ago. Like that was so core to me as a child. And I was just like thinking about it and like the montage music and like the people you were collabing with. I was like, wow, they really don't do YouTube like this anymore.
No, it's
It's true.
a crazy. Every time I think back to it, I'm like, in comparison to like the YouTube scene that at least I'm kind of in right now, like I've like through friends and my girlfriend, I'm like, whoa, it's like a different. It was like a different time, and it's
Yeah.
weird to think that it's changed. I mean, I guess it's been 7 years is a long time, so I guess it makes sense that it's
Yeah.
changed a lot, but it is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, no, it's literally insane. Like I like sorted by like most popular videos just to like remember what your like viral moments were and stuff,
Mhm.
even though because I feel like I like witnessed it as it was happening, but like I was like refreshing my memory and like the video where it's like my first kiss and it's with Corinna.
Yeah.
It's
my
so
God.
funny because I was just like thinking about like the concept of those videos at that time and how like at that time, like I feel like I was a kid going to YouTube, like genuinely like clicking on a video like that, like thinking it would teach me like how to like have my first
Oh,
kiss
I'm
and
fucking
stuff.
dead.
And like especially for girls, that was such a thing of like looking up like how to have your first kiss, how to put in a
Mhm.
tampon,
Yes.
how to
Or
get
like
a
how to talk to
blowjob,
guys.
how to
like,
talk to
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and it was just like really funny watching that because like I feel like there was this element of like being so young that you didn't really like there was not a huge separation between that video and reality, like in
Mhm.
terms of like what you were perceiving. Like I feel like I like compare it to like TV shows and how like kids used to like perceive like high school on TV and how different it was in reality. Like it reminded
Yeah.
me of that.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, or like I remember watching like Andrea Russet would make like videos like that all of the time, and I would watch her videos and like be like, "Ugh, why isn't like why can't I find a guy like he and Lolly in like my
Oh my
like, middle
God.
school?" You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like when that was like not the reality that we were living in at all.
Wait, you
but-
didn't know this, but when you left, when me and Samira were watching movies with our friend one night, and like you left, and then I like made Justin put on the Andrea Russet Key and Lolly boyfriend tag for no reason at all.
Oh.
And I was also thinking about that with it because I was just like, wow, I really like actually like in my head was like, oh, these 14-year-olds, this is like what dating is. Like this is like genuinely what
Yeah.
dating is like to me in my like 11-year-old brain, you know?
Yeah.
What I'm curious to know, like, what was your like go-to YouTubers growing up? Like did it evolve from middle school, high school? Like I'm just want to know if we were like in the same
Like the same like spheres.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Brittany, do you want to go first?
Well, okay. I feel like to start off, like, well, Gen X Pen was from my high school, so I was
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah. So I was
Bucks
like, oh my
County?
God, represent,
Hometown
yeah,
hero.
yeah, hometown
remember that.
hero. Like only person to like do like her and like Katie Turner were like the only like famous girls to come out of Bucks County. I feel like, so she was like she was like a main thing. I feel like Jenna Marbles, like Shane Dawson,
Cool.
O2L, like.
Mhm. Yeah.
Andrea, like just like that entire like realm, like the British YouTubers, I feel like were my
Yes.
like upbringing, and then like I got really into like Tana Mojo, like
Okay,
Corinna, David
yes.
Dobrik when he was
Yeah.
normal.
I think we were basically in the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Damn, that's so interesting.
yeah. Wait,
No, same.
Samira, did you have other ones, or I feel like you were kind of
Like
the same,
I
right?
was like the same. I never really got into David Dobrik
Oh,
personally.
really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think because I like was obsessed with Liza Koshy for a little bit just
Oh
because he was
yeah,
Indian. And I was
yeah,
like, oh, she's like an Indian comedian. Like that's really cool. So I was
yeah.
obsessed with her. But then I like thought David Dobrik was like the annoying white guy trying to like push like her like shadow, push her like light down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think I was onto something with that, honestly. And I feel like I also like was into like the like beauty guru world for like a little bit because I like grew up watching like Claudia Salewski, like Beyond
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Beauty Star, and like all of those people.
Yeah, I forgot them.
Um, but yeah, like the British YouTubers, Jenna Marbles, O2L. I was like a big O2L
Hmm.
girly.
Sam,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
So did
Um,
you like watch all those people like okay, like pre you getting into YouTube, like
Hmm.
how were you online? Like did you watch all those people kind of before you entered the YouTube space? Like what was that like for you?
Totally. I was like the biggest YouTube fan growing up. So I remember once I like kind of broke the fourth wall and like went to my first convention, I was like, this is like Disneyland. I was like taking
Yeah.
photos with
uh,
everybody. Like I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I struggled with I don't know, like I feel like I was dissociated for a few years during like the YouTube success because I was so like my brain was like having a hard time comprehending that these people that I've watched for all these years are now like my friends.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like I was like my life isn't real.
mm,
So yeah, definitely. I think like I would say I never became like really, really close to anyone that I was like a diehard fan, but I became like
Mm-mm.
friendly with, I guess.
Mm.
Um, I feel like yeah, like I remember Luke Horns.
Yeah.
I watched him a
yeah.
bit, and so like I had definitely watched his videos, and then we became like roommates and friends. So I would say he was probably like the closest, and then Jen, of course.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I would say like it was more like going to like parties and being like, whoa, like I can't believe I'm in like I feel like I like went to an alternate universe.
Where in like the timeline, I'm curious of like you like got online or just like the beginning of you getting online, like when did that start and like what internet pockets were you a part of like before you started making videos or anything?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I started watching like around Jenna Marbles era, Ryan Higa, and like
Mm.
Grace Helbig, but when she was like
Oh
Daily
yes.
Grace.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
her.
Uh-huh. And then I would say like I started making videos, but like not seriously, like end of middle school, high school, and that's when like the music video era was the thing, like Ricky Dillon.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. Yeah.
yes. And then
Yes.
Keen
Yeah.
and Sam. So this is like pre O2L.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop. I
Yeah.
loved their channel so
I
much.
know, same. I loved the music videos. That's all I did when I was in middle school and high school was make those little music videos.
Do you remember
And
like Video Star?
no, I
Okay.
have heard of it though, but
Yeah.
yeah. I was
It
like
was just a thing
iMovie.
that was like a part of it, a part of that kind of sphere. But sorry, keep going.
Okay, yeah. And then yeah, I guess like I think I watched Vlog Squad. I remember watching Carly and Aaron a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm forgetting. Once it gets to high school, I'm like, I feel like I was pretty. Oh, I loved the British Invasion, like all the
Mm.
British YouTubers. I was pretty like on it. I'd say like I was
Yeah.
watching everyone, but I kind of came into it. I would say like after high school, like I started to pick up like maybe 2017 is when it and I think that was like Tana Mojo, same time Emma Chamberlain,
Yes.
same
Yeah.
time. I'd say that was the window I popped in. But
Okay.
Mm.
Like started making videos
yeah, I
then?
started making videos
Okay.
and like seriously though, like
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
consistently and like hit 100K and then shortly after that like a million. That was around that time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you kind of like outline your growth as well? Because I'm curious, like how quickly that happened. Because I feel like I kind of remember YouTubers at that time, like really like hitting an algorithm and just like blowing up like crazy. And there was
Hmm.
like a new YouTuber, and it would be like the thing for
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the like that span of months. Like even with like Emma. like that was kind of what happened with her, and then it did not stop.
Yeah,
And she just
no.
kept going, which was insane.
No, it was crazy. I guess like I say right after I graduated high school, so 2016, I started posting like I basically had a moment with myself and I was like, okay, like I don't want to go to college for business, but like that's what I was doing. I was about to go and I was like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, I need to like what do I want to do with the rest of my life? I'm like, I want to be a YouTuber. And I'm like, well, all these YouTubers I look up to had started at 0 subscribers. So I'm like, if I just keep on posting every week, maybe by the end of the year I could have 1,000. And so I started doing that. I started doing like trailer edits. I think that was
Mm.
like the first thing that picked up, and I got 10,000 by the end of the year. So, and then after that I was like, but I want to be in front of the camera. And so I started doing like comedy videos 2017. I'd say the first half of 2017, and that's
Mhm.
what pushed me over to the 100K mark. And I'm really brushing over how I feel like I was just shameless promoting, like sending it out, tweeting it out. I think I posted my videos straight to Twitter and straight to like different platforms,
Mhm.
and then put my like YouTube channel on like the watermark. So I think that's like I just like, kind of just posted everywhere.
Mhm.
Um I was like posting like 3 times a week. Um, and then that's when, yeah, I'd say like halfway through 2017 is when I like creatively was feeling like, oh, like I'm not feeling creatively fulfilled with these like comedy videos or like just like simple, I'd say like kind of similar to like vlog squad like kind of energy. But then I
Mhm.
was like, okay, like what can I do? So I kind of meshed this like style of like comedy videos, but also like make it like a movie.
Yeah.
And that's when it really did the next push. So that was like I started doing that September 2017, and then by end of November of 2017 is when I posted my coming out video, and that was like that one that pushed me like within like 2 weeks, like 250,000 subscribers, upwards. Because
That's
then
crazy.
Casey
Yeah.
Neistat like had made like a thing, like a whole video about it, and that's what I think really
Yeah.
pushed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's insane because I do remember like that transition to like you just making more like cinematic type videos,
Mhm.
which I think is like very much like not like I feel like Casey was doing that kind of thing at the time,
Mhm.
but there weren't that many YouTubers like putting that much energy into like the content they were making, like in like
Mhm.
a production sense. And
Oh
I
yeah.
like going from like so many YouTubers doing sit down videos like that at the
Yeah.
time and like transitioning like to just like kind of your own personal brand is like
Uh-huh.
really significant to me. And I'm curious if like what that was like from your perspective, like how you kind of like came to that like new creative vision because I feel like it wasn't really something people were doing at the time.
No, yeah, for sure. I feel like it's something I hadn't thought about too much until like in hindsight, because I feel like now there's like a whole like it's like the internet has evolved so much so that a lot of people doing like these kind of cinematic, they're like literally
Mhm.
making movies online. And I have like a lot of friends who are also doing that, and I feel like they feel like this like it feels a little not competitive, I guess, not competitive, but like you can't help but compare yourself because they're like doing
Mhm.
kind of similar things. But I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really grateful because I'm like at that time, I guess like really wasn't thinking about it, but yeah, I never felt like I was like afraid someone was gonna steal my thing. Like it
Mhm.
felt like very like, oh, this is like I was never a thought. But yeah, like it came to for me, it was like the two references were Ferris Bueller, because I remember watching Ferris Bueller, I was like, "Whoa, he's like basically doing YouTube. Like he's talking to the camera."
He's basically a
Yeah,
YouTuber.
dude,
Yeah.
why Ferris Bueller had like such like a crazy impact on like I feel like everyone of this generation, because I remember
Mhm.
like for my like video broadcasting class in high school we had to like reenact a scene and we like did Ferris Bueller because it just like felt so important at the time. Like it
Mhm.
felt like that was like one of those movies when you like got into movies, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like one of a kind. I mean, like there's a couple like fourth wall breaks, but it's so specific in like in its tone. And so like I think like if you kind of watch my earlier stuff, that's definitely heavily influenced. And I
Yeah.
think Casey Neistat was like before he did the vlogs, he did like little short films on his
Mhm.
channel, and I was like, I kind of like that, like I want to bring that back. but like make it feel very me. And so that was
Mhm.
the vision. It was like, yeah, like keeping like the like still making it about my life and the people in my life, and but like having it feel more narrative.
Mhm.
And like I love teen movies, so it's like that was really the big inspo. And yeah, I guess I don't know. Like I feel like in at the time I really wasn't thinking about it, but in hindsight, I
Mhm.
really was like, whoa, like yeah, no one. I really just I don't know what came over me and decided to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's interesting.
And yeah, and like what you said about just like that kind of being like a norm now in terms of like
Mhm.
what people are making online, because like the internet has just evolved so much, is really interesting, and it's
Mhm.
weird being able to kind of pinpoint the start of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 So did you end up not going to college then for like business, or like how did that
I did a semester,
a
and then once
semester?
I hit
Okay.
10K subs, I was like, I'm gonna drop
You're
out to experience. I was like, I told them I'm like, give me a semester. I'm like, let me just get to 100K.
yeah.
And I will,
Yeah.
and then like make money. And then by the end of the 6 months, I had like just signed to a manager for the first time and had 100K and was making money. So I
Mm.
was like, it worked out. I
Yeah.
actually, I
Yeah.
was never gonna go back, but that's what I told my parents. I was like, just give me a few months. Like I need to like see this through.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, never went back.
Got
Wait, so
it.
what college did you try going to? Was it in Canada?
It was in Canada.
Okay.
It's called the University of Ottawa.
Okay,
It
okay.
was it was all right.
Cool.
Yeah, I honestly like thinking about I had thought about me during that time. I was like, wow, it was like I did not belong in that. It was just not
Mm.
right. Did not feel
Yeah.
right in my universe. But um yeah, I don't I think I was just editing the entire time. Like I
Mm.
was very like all in, and I remember like I totally just wrote my name on the exam and like answered like one or two questions and then just submitted because I was like, I
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
this
were
is
just
just
over it.
yeah, I could
Yeah.
Yeah.
not.
So did
Yeah.
you move to LA then after like you got signed, or after you found a manager, or like
It took actually like 2 years after that. But I was
okay.
traveling a lot. I
Mm.
think I
Okay.
had gotten like my visa like before I moved, but I didn't have a reason to move because I could just travel for work.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until 29 end of 2019
Okay.
when I moved to LA.
Do you think
Okay.
like putting it off for like those 2 years kept you normal instead?
I think it like kept th- the content kind of like grounded. Like it was still
Mm.
very
Yeah.
much about my hometown, my family, and yeah, my high school friends. And I think
Mm.
that, and also yeah, like I really I'd say even like through the YouTube success, I really like held on to that for, and I think that really did help
Mm.
I guess keep me sane. um
Yeah.
but I also do like I'm very happy that I did make the move because I feel like I it also helped me like transform, especially in regards to my sexuality. I feel like it made me like be around people who aren't all the same. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. I was curious about just like that transition to LA because it is just something people like always talk about, especially in the YouTube space. As a kid, I was always like just like watching people move to LA and being like, but I'm not gonna get different.
I
And
That was
like
know.
like the
having like,
pipeline of like
yeah,
moving
Uh-huh.
to LA like was such a thing. It was like
No,
yeah.
everyone
yeah.
like dropping out of college, like quitting your corporate job, moving to LA.
Mhm.
Mm,
No, yeah, for sure. I actually well, I don't live in LA anymore. I'm in Seattle right now with my girlfriend. And
mm,
I spent 4 years in LA, and I think by the end I remember like being like, "Ugh, I got to come back to LA. LA feels like home." But now that I've had time away from it, I'm like, "Whoa, like I needed this for my character development because you do get like kind of like wrapped into this like world, and it does
yeah.
feel fun and exciting because there's always something to do. And you get to meet all these different kinds of people, and even when you're not doing anything, it feels like you're doing something because you're in like the industry space, if that makes sense.
Mm,
Yeah.
So I I I'm very, but again, I'm like I look back and I see in ways where I like did lose myself a little bit, but as a whole, I feel like I really needed that experience, and I'm really
Mm,
grateful for like how much, because I was such like I was a pretty sheltered child, so I felt like that was my college years, I'd say, my LA
mm,
experience, which was um yeah, I think it really was very, very formative in a good way, and in the ways that it was not good, I feel like I've been shutting off, which is nice. But if you,
mm.
am I answering your question?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I am also curious in that sense. Like also relate because I feel like we just moved to New York like 5 months ago. So
Cool.
I feel like the New York like transition is maybe similar to the LA one,
Mm-hmm.
just in
Yeah.
terms of like what that feels like and like the type of people you're meeting and how like you just get wrapped into a
Yep.
thing.
Yes.
But I was gonna ask like when you moved there was like a very specific YouTube community going on. There
Mm-hmm.
was like it was like the era kind of like Jen, Andrea, like oh too well was still like pretty
Yeah.
relevant. Shane Dawson, Tana, Emma, like all of that was going on. And I'm curious like how you've seen the community change, like in general, and also just like how you witnessed it like from the start of LA to like now not
Mm.
living there.
You know what? At the beginning, I felt like, yeah, like I'm just trying to think of like the crowd. I think I like the first year of LA, I really was jumping around to like, if I thought, but think about the people I was hanging around, I was like, it does not make sense. I was just hanging out with everyone because I really wanted to be friends with everybody, but then, you come to realize it's like you're not meant to be friends with everybody. You're like forcing it. So I think
Mm,
like I really went to a lot of parties and like just like I think it was a lot of YouTubers at that point. But then I remember the shift. It's like around 2021. That's when I was like, oh my gosh, like I remember having like a conscious thought of like being at a party. I was like, whoa, like this is a completely different crowd. It's like hype
mm,
house. And I was like,
yeah.
whoa, like
The internet like got infiltrated.
That's so weird.
no, it
Yeah.
was very strange. It was like, whoa, so like YouTube is like that's when I felt like YouTube as a whole was a little bit pushed to the side and like TikTok emerged. And that's I'd say around then was the switch. And I was like, yeah, I guess after a year or two of living in LA.
Mm,
But yeah, that was like I remember being like, well, that's when I'd say I'd slowly started to feel like, oh, maybe like I'm yeah, like things are changing and I need to adapt and change. That's
mm-hmm.
because around then is also when I think I started to realize I'm like, I don't know if I want to do YouTube anymore. So it's like it kind of the universe all, it just kind
Yeah.
of naturally happened like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting too, because I feel like that might have also been like the time, or like maybe a little bit after like 2020, 2021 was when like mainstream celebrity kind of merged with YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it also was just like its own thing to begin with. Like, and it was kind of like, at least in my eyes as a viewer, it seemed more separate. And now it's like, I feel like all my favorite YouTubers who I used to watch are now kind of also just mainstream celebrities themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
It's weird to, yeah, like look back and pinpoint like the time where that switched from like the hype house, like where that started becoming the norm. Cause I feel like it's just like weird to think that we've like also just like been around like for all these like iterations and that we've been
No.
around for like the like OG YouTube to hype house to like now whatever it even is. Like, yeah.
What how old are you guys?
We're both 24.
24.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're yeah, similar age. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
27?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it is crazy. It makes you
Yeah.
feel like I feel it makes you feel a little old. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, like how has it
I feel so old. Like,
honestly, you know what? I will say something that's crazy is like what it's not that TikTok. I feel like I see the comment TikTok, we're losing ancient texts or whatever.
yes, I was literally just
Yeah.
gonna say,
My girlfriend, like, well, she's your age. I don't know why. And she was on YouTube for a while too. I don't
Mm.
know what she just wasn't, I don't know, wasn't in that the scene that we were
yeah.
in. But
Mm.
like I mentioned like Grace Helbig, she's like, who? I'm like, oh,
Whoa.
No, I
like
literally,
what? Like how do you not like it's
it's
crazy.
crazy. I saw like a clip from an interview with Finn Wolfhard, and he was like talking with this like other like guy, do you know what I'm talking about? And he didn't know who One Direction was.
Yes. Yes.
And I was
That's
Crazy.
like,
insane.
that literally is crazy.
Who was the
Well,
other guy? Do you know?
it was like a little, it was like
little
like
kid.
yeah, a little kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But he was like a 12, 13, like I don't know,
Yeah.
like a boy, like
Yeah,
which but I guess that makes sense. Like if you're like a 12,
Yeah.
13-year-old boy, you wouldn't know who One Direction is. But that's
I
crazy.
guess it is crazy. I did see a TikTok. It was like their fourth album. It's been 11 years since their fourth album. I'm like, what? That's so. I just like.
That's crazy.
I don't know
Yeah.
where time has gone. Even like thinking that the pandemic was 5 years ago is
Yeah.
wild to me. That I'm
Yeah,
like,
So
whoa. Like I
weird.
guess like a lot has changed even in that span. I don't know. Time is.
Mm.
It's crazy.
Thinking of like One Direction and how that existed in the internet world is maybe different than like how like before that era of like the internet and like fandom, it might just like not be as like maybe retainable in a sense because the internet has gotten so weird, and like if you're just on TikTok, it's so possible for you to never like learn who One Direction is depending on where you are on TikTok like as a
Yeah.
child. And so I'm like thinking about that and like how it compares to like us being kids and like our parents talking about like I don't know like Amy
Yeah. Yeah.
Winehouse,
Yeah, or like the
which is
Beatles or
a funny
someone.
comparison, but
Yeah.
like those
Yeah.
people are like cemented in history in a way that like I feel like One Direction also is to us, but then I like am like, well, where are these kids getting their history from? Because maybe it's just not the same way.
Yeah, for sure. Because especially with the algorithm, it's like so like I guess like when we were younger, it's we were all being kind of fed the same thing. And
Yeah.
then now it's like you're really curated to one little corner of the internet and the algorithm continues to feed just what you want.
Mhm.
Um yeah, it is interesting.
I also wanted to touch on like because you brought up your coming out video and like how Casey Neistat had like made a video about it and stuff. And I feel like that also similar to just like the era of YouTube that was going on at the time feels like really significant for me, like going back and rewatching because I feel like a lot of like core 2010s YouTubers coming out of as gay was like a really important thing for kids to see back then. It
Mm-hmm.
also the idea of like the queer community was so different then. Like even just
Mm-hmm.
watching your video and like obviously I'm probably like biased by like my community that is like accepting of gay people obviously. Like I know it's not still like
Uh-huh.
yeah, you know. But I was like watching your video and just like how like afraid you were in the moment to come out and be like, "Oh, my like parents are going to accept me." And now like I feel like there's that has changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy to have that captured in time, but also just like I'm curious of how like you reflect on that and like how you've seen the evolution of just like our perception of queer identity shift throughout the years.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It is crazy. Cause it's like, yeah, the concept of coming out is yeah, it's just I guess not really a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
And like
good.
the
That's
videos that
good.
like people like the like huge viral coming out videos, like those people like blew up for
Uh-huh.
being
Yeah.
gay too, because it was like just like people weren't gay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they obviously were, but you know.
I feel like in hindsight, well, I guess in the moment too, but I feel like because when I watched this coming out videos, I didn't think I was gay. And then now in hindsight, I'm like, oh, that like in from my small town in Canada, like those were so important. Like,
Yeah.
and there were so, like I remember Troye Sivan, Connor
Oh my god.
Fanta, Ingrid Nielsen.
Oh
Mhm.
yes. Oh my
It's
God.
it was good. It was back to back to back. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there was so many of them.
It's like weird how everyone on YouTube who's cool is gay. Is this mean
Yeah.
something?
When like every member of O2L basically came out as gay, and it was
Yes.
This
like,
is so
like
funny.
okay,
Yeah.
we
Yes.
knew this though, but it was still like it was heartbreaking.
No, yeah. No, yeah, and I guess I feel like I haven't thought about it until recently, because like I'll like briefly say like my girlfriend, she's on YouTube, but she's like making a I guess a version of a coming out, but it's like
Mhm.
yeah, like she's not. It's like more like she's just confirming it, I guess, but like telling it more of a narrative in a narrative sense, but um basically that concept of like yeah like it's involved like she doesn't necessarily need to come out but it's just more of
Yeah.
like expressing and like about identity and it's I think it's just involved in like a less so like it's like not a shocking thing anymore, and it feels more like if you come out online, there's 1000% a community that will accept you.
Mm.
And so it's like less so of like a confession. It feels like less so of like I'm confessing my sexuality. It's more of like, I guess you can, and also I feel like labels maybe has also played a part in that. I feel like everyone feels like a less pressure to put a label on it,
Mm.
because it's so fluid, and so maybe that also plays a part of it. It's like I like who I like, and I think that's becoming more of the thing, and so yeah,
Yeah.
like it is just it just feels like everyone may be just a little bit gay in a way.
Yeah.
It
So
seems that way.
Yeah.
but
Well,
it is crazy.
also, like, I'm thinking about it, and in my head, like, the coming out videos era almost feels comparable to, like, shifting the culture in a similar way that, like, the Me Too movement shifted the culture for women. Like, it's,
Mhm.
like, just, like, this, like, very, like, oh, like, we're all, like, focusing on this one thing right now, and it, like, genuinely just, like, changed how people then, like, went forward in terms of, like, the ideas they held around that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even just like the way that like Stan Twitter and like fandoms like talked about like queer culture and were accepting of it. I feel like that like did something for like making it normalized and like pushing it like toward the mainstream.
Like
Mhm.
shipping,
Um yeah, like shipping
Harry and
Larry,
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
shipping
yes.
Larry.
Well, I
So
remember,
Yeah.
like, people being like, "I wonder if one day, like, you're gonna have to come out as straight."
Oh
Or,
yeah.
my
like, that
god,
was, like, a
yeah.
common thing that people would say, and, like, now it's kinda like I mean, I guess that's kinda true in a sense.
Well, when I was
It
living in
is.
LA, my brother visited. I was like, Jay, like it's here it's gay until proven straight, because I feel like
Yeah.
he's like, whoa, that's really true. I'm like, yeah, maybe it was also the crowd that I was hanging out with, but
Yeah.
um I feel like, yeah, it is it's funny that you could have to come out as straight.
Yeah. No, I feel like that was also kind of our experience, like, just when we, like, moved to Philly from, like, Bucks County and, like,
Uh-huh.
the circle we were in. There was even,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I feel like almost like a counter movement almost to, like, straightness where it was like, "No, you're bisexual." Like, "I know you're bisexual." Like, I feel like I got
Yeah.
that reaction out of people, which was, like, a really interesting thing to like, to then, like, have the culture shift that way.
Uh-huh. No, yeah.
I did also want to ask about just in general, because now you're not on YouTube anymore.
Mhm.
And you've talked a lot. I know that you were like one of the YouTubers that like blew up initially for talking about YouTube like burnout
Mhm.
and
Yes.
just like health issues and like crying on camera and stuff. And which is also interesting of like pinpointing that moment when like people started talking about media burnout and like what like being like an online personality did to you because it wasn't really a thing yet that was being talked about. Um, but I'm curious, like reflecting on it now, because you've talked about it a lot online. Like, do you think it's possible to like be an accessible personality without experiencing that internal struggle? Because I feel like even for us, it's like really hard. Like we've been recording the podcast for like a year and a half, and I feel like
Mhm.
we struggle with this of like how to produce a conversation for people to hear. And like I'm curious just like how like your struggle with that has evolved like now in the present, and also if that's gotten easier now that you're just doing like more like focused like
Mm.
filmmaking.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, I mean, I feel like it's unique to every it's just a unique situation, because I feel like for me personally, the burnout definitely has not, I mean, maybe it's also a mix of me getting older and just becoming wiser and more like emotionally regulated, but
Yeah.
um I do feel like a lot of the pressure for me was being on camera and having public perception, and also feeling like, cuz I feel like I really, it felt like everything I created felt so me. Like it was like, because I'm on camera, I'm editing it, it's about my very personal life. And so any like critique, but also like how it performed felt like such a personal attack, or like personal, it felt like it's a personal hit.
Yeah.
Um and I feel like that, so like it but also when it was a high, it made me feel like I was on top of the world. So those extremes, like and like being on that hamster wheel of chasing like basically like my form of self-validation and
Yeah.
like just like proving that I am worthy. That's what burnt me out. And so I think having a bit of a separation from the art, the project, the work, because it's still very personal, and so I still feel it, but because I'm not on camera, because it's like personal through characters or like personal through like there's just a bit of a wall up. It doesn't feel as intense, which is really nice for me, and also like I can less so like I think when you're like really active on YouTube or like podcasting, it's like yet there's like a schedule. You got to like be
Mhm.
consistent. And I feel like the way that I've approached it now, it's a little bit more like I put my all into one thing and I can take my time on to the next, which, you know, pros and
Yeah.
cons to both. But um yeah, sorry, wait. I'm lost. My brain goes like this and I forget the
No, it's
question.
No, you're
you're
good.
answering it. You're totally fine.
Okay, okay.
But um, I feel like maybe the part you didn't touch on was like if you think it's possible to like I guess like specifically YouTube like
Mm.
have a personality so accessible to everyone and like using like
Mm,
putting your personality out there as though it's like an object to be marketed. Like if
yeah.
you think it's possible to not have like I don't know, just like freak out
I
when
feel like it
that's
takes a certain
happening.
certain type of personality because maybe
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
honestly do know friends who maybe if they have a little bit more of like a it don't have to be fully business, but like they have a business side to them. I feel like they can
Hmm.
like it feels a little not strategic because I have friends who just like are just like yeah their brain works different. It's like they still are creative, but it feels maybe a little bit leaning more business or like logical, and so
Mm.
they're able to I don't know, like, yeah, like, separate or, like, not take it so emotionally, like, feel like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it take certain types of personalities. I think maybe if you're more of a creative and, like, really put your personal, um, put yourself into the work, it could
Mhm.
I mean, I think from based off the people I've talked to who do that, it does really take a toll.
Yeah.
Um and you can see that through like especially I feel like it takes a toll um once they reach the goal because then
Yeah.
you get there because you have this like drive of like okay I can keep doing it because I'm not there yet, but once you get there it's like that motivation is like it just all like kind of like crumbles and it's like well what is motivating me
Hmm.
and then it yeah so it depends on the person. I think it is tough for someone who is truly creative or like an artist to do so on YouTube. I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that also it's interesting. I like read your New York Times like opinion article about it like the other
Mhm.
night called YouTube Gave Me Everything, Then I Grew Up, and like you were touching on just like how a lot of your videos were appealing to like that nostalgic like teen energy and
Mhm.
then that like your videos being like a form of diary, I feel like that makes it even like harder to
Uh-huh.
maintain, definitely, because it's like, oh wow, this is like really dependent on like you being able to be yourself. And that's
Yes.
a weird thing. But I feel like now we're at a point in society where that's like also a struggle everyone is dealing with because just like social media has become way more normalized. Like I feel like I don't know if you relate to this, but like back then for me, like no one around me was on social media. I was like the kid who
Mhm.
was watching YouTube and no one else really was on there like seeing it happen. And like
Mhm.
to me, it wasn't like this place where I like needed to like market myself or even like I don't know, like curate my identity. And now I think
Yeah.
that's like the norm for kids. And
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, if you think we're ever gonna like find our way out of the trap, like what do you think what do you think we do about this?
I don't know. I wonder. I do wonder. I feel like I mean, there's a lot of smart people with good hearts on the internet. So I'm sure
Mhm.
I think of like, you know, Jack Conti, he's the CEO of Patreon. I
Mm,
haven't got a chance to read his op-ed, but I feel like he is very much at the front of trying to make the internet a better place in terms of what we're talking about. But
yeah.
um
What was his
uh
op? Was it a recent op-ed?
Yeah, I think he's like just really like been against the algorithm and like
Okay.
more about like because the algorithm really like it makes you want to chase, and I feel like there's like social media platforms can like curate, maybe they could if they just alter, I don't know, I guess it's tough because I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's so much discovery, like I discover so many people because of this
Yeah.
algorithm, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it's so tough, but
It's so hard.
because there's like, yeah, it's pros and cons to
Mm-hmm.
either or, but um
like we're talking about it while also like doing the same exact thing
Yeah.
I
and
know.
like doing that to like maintain a podcast. It's like it's
Yeah.
interesting. I think about it every day of my life.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I I guess I'm like it's hard because I feel like I've come to realize that I think solved a lot of my problems by like with like in terms of my relationship with the internet by brushing it, putting it under the rug, and just like being avoidant basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I'm being over because my girlfriend, she's very much still in this space. So I feel like I've been through our relationship been forced to like really work on that relationship and like get to the bottom of it. So I don't know. I'm unsure because I've definitely taken the approach of just being off, and so ignorance is bliss, and so I don't know. It is so tough because there is so much
Yeah.
beauty in the internet. There is so much
Mm.
beauty, and I think I've really like I've always had that stance, but I'm really do believe that like I do hope that I'm an optimist. I'm hopeful that it will eventually get to that. I feel like everyone's feeling the same thing about
Yeah.
like being exhausted by how social media and the internet and going on your phone makes you feel. So I'm like, if we're all feeling it, we're all just gonna get to a point where we're like, let's fix this. Because I think
Yeah.
that's where it's all going anyways. It's like it's just building up because I think we're all, yeah, I think we're all, the fact that we all have, I don't know if you guys do, but I have like an app on my phone that like turns off social media apps. Like we all have
Yeah.
to like literally like restrain
Yeah.
ourselves from going
Yeah.
on there. Um, I don't know, but also there's something. Oh my god, I'm being so like,
No, no.
No
but
way.
there's something so beautiful about like. To me, I'm like I love like curating and like
Yeah.
self-expression. I'm like if it's less so of a product and more just like on a from a pure place where it's like I'm just expressing myself on social media because that's where it was when we first started. It's like Tumblr. It was just like this
Yeah.
is just like a bunch of different things that represent me, and it's like so
Yeah.
beautiful to express yourself, and that's what the internet was. So I think we could slowly get back to
Yeah.
that. Not sure how. Maybe half of the people will, and everyone else will
Everyone
keep
else
doing
can
their
stay
thing.
over here.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
separate.
Like, I do think that they're like we're all like way too smart for there to not be some sort of solution. I feel like we don't know what it is yet, maybe.
Yeah.
But I very much do because yeah, like literally like the internet like changed my life as a child. Like that's where I had all of
Yeah.
my friends. It was where I like consumed literally like everything I like have evolved to thinking is funny now. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I got everything there.
Gonna like shift to talking about, I did want to like ask about your short film, Don't Forget About Me. Which also like I see the poster in the background. I also
Yeah,
love
Yes.
your
I
like
know
I'm not gonna
wall.
lie.
that.
I
Yeah.
did move my computer this way. I was like, maybe I should put that slightly in the back.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
That's-
I know like it's based on Weston and Kalynn of St.
Mhm.
Drowning, who
Mhm.
you had met when you were a teenager on YouTube. And I feel like their like internet presence, like St. Drowning's appeal, has always been like really interesting because I feel like a big reason why so many people like loved them and identified with them is because of how much they like felt like they were just fans too, like in terms
Yeah.
of just like being creators. Like they were also just like fans of like the things that they were creating about, even with the way they were like making references in videos all the time.
Mhm.
Like I know there was one video where like they were at like a Ross Lynch concert and then like
Yes.
making jokes about it. And I think it's like I feel like that also just kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning of like the internet and like fandoms and everything, and how like the pull of fandom and nostalgia, how strong that pull is, and like how that really like just like brings a lot of people together.
Mm.
um but yeah, I'm like curious on like how you reflect on that and like what your perception of it, and even like if you think there's something deeper to like why people love that sort of content so much, like even just like thinking specifically about like the Ross Lynch video and like those like bits or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, what I mean, on a personal level, like that's what really like I feel like has bonded me, Weston and Kalynn, is that we have that like inner fangirl, and that's why I always like wanted like I always invited them to go to all the VidCons because I was like
Yeah.
I like their excitement is so contagious, and I'm like, oh my,
Aw.
they're like they always do
They're
the
like
thing where they have
scavenger hunt videos.
yes
Yeah.
I love it
Loved
so
those videos.
much.
Yeah.
I love it so much, and it's always been something that's bonded us because I feel like we have. I mean, there's certain things where they like that I'm not too familiar with, but I think there's some overlap, and that's always been something that's like kind of really bonded us. And I think they just have a wholesomeness to them, and I feel like that's what I feel gravitated towards in general. I think that. I think I said this before, but like, yeah, like at that time, they just kind of reminded me of my childhood and home. And like during time I was like growing up so fast, it was like just really nice to have them. Every time I was with them, it was so grounding, especially at events like that. It was just felt like they felt so light, and like in my inner soul was so heavy. But when I was with them,
Yeah.
like it kind of just went away. And so yeah, like I mean, they're to me like I always love talking about them. They're like just people I know that I met through the internet, and just so funny how we just suddenly I don't know how it just all of a sudden we were just like visiting each other, and we were just friends, and like
Yeah.
there's just people that I think I will always be friends with. Um but all this to say, what was the second?
You're
Where was I
good.
going with this?
No, I was just asking like what you think the attraction, you kind of started
Oh
answering it,
yeah.
like to like like that like fandom and nostalgia aspect of creators is.
Yeah.
Because I also feel like it's interesting because I feel like that has become such a thing, especially of recently. Like even thinking of, I know we mentioned Jake Shane earlier. I feel like that's like a
Yes. Oh yeah,
big
yeah, yeah.
pull of his
Yeah.
appeal too. Is like,
Mhm.
oh, this like the stanification, the
I
aspect of it.
yeah. Well, to me, I guess I'm like, yeah, I am really drawn to that because
Mm.
Jake Shane's probably like one of I don't watch many podcasts, but I feel like he's one of them. I think it's like a relatability. It's like to me, like if I were in Jake Shane's shoes, I would be doing the exact same thing. And also
Yeah.
like and the same thing with Weston and Kalynn. It's like, yeah, if I was there, that's what it is what I'm doing. I'm just not documenting it, but like
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's like it is a form of just keeping that inner child alive. And I feel like a lot of people, I think the world is scary, heavy, and I think to me, like even watching movies and listening to music, I'm really gravitated to things that feel light and comforting because life is like I don't need more heavy. So I think that's
Mm.
I mean, I think the people who are drawn to Weston and Kalynn or Jake Shane, that's I believe the like the core thing about it. Um
Yeah.
just brightens their day. It makes them escape from their lives, which is
Yeah.
Yeah.
like yeah, the best.
Yeah, I feel like I always like perceived as a kid because I was so attracted to that kind of thing, like loved Weston and Kalynn.
Mhm.
Like there was always just like almost this like signaling thing about it where it was like, oh, this like very clear way, like even just like the way they're funny about like celebrities in this way. And like which is similar to I think just like the like nostalgic appeal to like your YouTube content, like is something that like I just like always thought was just like maybe just like signaling of like an understanding. Like it's something I thought about a lot with like Josh Ovalle when he like started when he did like the Brennan Taylor challenge or like put David Dobrik's face on a billboard. I like was always like, oh, you're like pointing out like a social hierarchy like inherent to celebrity and like how we view them. And you're like signaling to me that you're the same as me or like that there's just like this like
Mhm.
joint understanding of like the way the world is working. And I feel like I
Mhm.
see that a lot with like their content too.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
yeah.
When you're a kid, you're like, oh, if I had a platform, like I would be doing the same thing. Like I would be
Yeah.
like saying the
Yeah.
thing that's like the funny thing to say, or like making the bit, or like
Or like pointing out the scenario I'm in as a YouTuber. Like yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, like I like didn't watch the whole video, but I know like Jake Shane's like, I think I sent this to you, Brittany, like his like 100th episode of the podcast, he like was calling role model on the
Oh
phone.
yeah, yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's so good. Like that's
Uh-huh.
something that like I would do if I could just call role model on the phone. Like
Yeah.
I would do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like it's just like a fan satisfaction thing, but also just like, yeah, you see yourself in them, which is really sweet. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
also I think with Wesley and Kalynn, felt that from them of like just like the lightness. Like I was like on one of like a Discord server with them and was like, we had William on. I don't know if you saw it. Like
Yes,
William
yes.
Craver, who was like an internet friend of
Oh,
mine from that Discord
love
server.
of my
Uh-huh.
And
life.
like I feel like to me, for some reason, I was always like, oh, like whoever they're friends with is probably a good person because I just like could feel that from them, you know?
Yeah. No, for sure. They have like such like pure good souls, and it's I think yeah, I mean, I think that's why they're like their community, their fan base is so strong. Like I feel like people
Yeah.
really feel strongly connected because I also feel like they like protect their bubble really well. They don't
Yeah.
really collaborate too much. They like keep it like it's like their home, you know? It really
Yeah.
feels like you're really invited to their space and their energy, and they protect it really well. And I think
Mm.
that's why they've had such like longevity, and they genuinely enjoy what they're doing. And I think that's a big thing too. Like genuinely enjoying what they're doing and like making like obviously it's their jobs, but they're like they make it like their dream jobs. Like they're the most fun. They play their
Mm.
favorite games, and it's like you feel that. It's like you I think for me, like even if I'm watching someone who's even when I honestly with Weston and Kalynn, like I don't play the games that they play, but I like watching them play the games because they're
Yeah.
enjoying it so
Yeah.
much. I'm enjoying watching them do something that they love.
Yeah, it's funny to like that experience of like wanting to watch someone play a game that you would never play yourself.
Yeah.
Like, going back to Don't Forget About Me, your film
Mhm.
that came out, it was over the summer, right? Or
Yes, around
yeah.
then. Yes.
Yeah. I'm curious if you want to talk a little bit about just like the process of making the film. And it is like I don't know if we explained as we brought it up, like that it's kind of based on Weston and Kalynn meeting like someone who they were a fan of as a child. And I am also curious, like with that theme of like just like childhood nostalgia, like is there anything to you that has like come close to that feeling now as an adult? Yeah, like generating that same like
Like that same
intense
feeling.
feeling.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think
Sorry, I know
to
I
the
asked you like two questions in
no, no,
one.
because it honestly does relate. I think creating these
Mhm.
films and these worlds has tapped into that in like a
Mm,
way that feels present and not like holding on to the past. Because it's
mm,
like I'm like almost creating the worlds that I loved as a kid, but
mm,
in my own way, in a way that feels like still, um, that yeah, I can express myself as an adult, but like tap into this like almost fantastical, warm and a nostalgic feeling, in these like kind of cinematic worlds. And I've only done it twice, but like both times have felt like magic in the same way that childhood nostalgia feels.
mm.
But in terms
That's
of
really
how
pretty.
well, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of how this came about, I've been writing a feature, so like that's kind of like the main goal. But I had finished a draft, and I was just kind of like sitting there, and I didn't know what to do. And I think there was like conversations. I think some companies had been interested in like funding a short because I had one other one, and so
Mhm.
I was like, oh, what would another short be like? And one thing I did miss about YouTube was getting to like express myself.
Mm,
And so I was like, oh, like I do want to express this feeling. So I had this title like Don't Forget About Me because I'm like it is like I'm in this transition phase. I'm like it's like I am both like the characters that are like Weston and Kalynn, but also I am the child actor in a way. I feel like I'm like I see both sides. And so I was like, okay, like that's like the theme. I'm like, but how do I want to like what's the world? Like what's the story? I'm like the most exciting thing to me. I was like, well, I don't know. It came to mind. I was like, because I always loved surprising Weston and Kalynn with like random celebrities. Um,
uh,
like I
That's so
remember,
fun.
yeah, like I remember, like I don't know who I've. There's just been a few where I just like ran. I'm like I feel like oh my god, I can't wait to surprise Weston and Kalynn with them because
no.
their reaction is always so good. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's like a fun like what if they like the movie Starstruck from
Yeah.
Pixar?
Yes. Oh my
Love that
god.
movie.
That was
Oh,
like the mood board where I was like, oh, because they love that movie too. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
really like the idea of like them having to spend a day with the celebrity. So so that was the concept. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so fun. Like, what if Weston and Kalynn were visited by their favorite childhood TV character? And so yeah, I started writing that and it was like basically like kind of um exploring the how nostalgia can help you like heal in a way, and it is an escape from your real world, but also the other side of it where it's like letting go and moving on and allowing new things to come in, and also like with like Bradley Stephen Perry, like the main character, like it's also the theme of like being in like kind of living in the shadow of your past, but like
Mm.
wanting to evolve, but also being very grateful and for how that has impacted people. So it's like all that. And then yeah, basically this company while I was writing it reached out and was like, "Oh, we would love to fund a short." And that's when I was like, "Okay, well, this is getting made." And so
Mm.
I quickly wrote it, and then I knew that I had to whoever played the lead had to be someone who actually was nostalgic to people,
Yeah.
and but also like it had to be like perfect age because it's like,
Mhm.
you know, it gives a different vibe if a little older or a little younger. So
Yeah.
and also someone that Weston and Kalynn, if I like my rule of thumb is like if I showed this person, if I brought this person to Weston and Kalynn, would they would they freak out?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I thought of Bradley Stephen Perry, who played Gabe on Good Luck Charlie,
Yes.
because he was doing podcasting, and I was listening to his podcast, and he was kind of talking about like similar like things that I was also like feeling in an odd
Mm.
way, because I feel like I'm like, even though I was never a child actor, like I was very young on YouTube, and
Mhm.
so I just cold DM'd him, and then he said he read it and he said yes, and then we just kind of made it in Vancouver, and
Aw.
then yeah, and then I'm really brushing over it, but like yeah, we just it was a blur. It was like within like all a few months. That was like we shot it last December, and then
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah, released it May or something like that. So
Wait, that's
um
cool that you cold DM'd him because I like saw that
Yeah.
on your like promo and I was like
uh
wasn't sure if it was just like a shot you filmed in order to like tell the story or if that was
yeah.
like
Well, that wasn't the
actually.
exact message. I did give a like I was like, "Hi, I'm Al,"
Yeah.
but it was too long. But basically that's what I said. I was like, I wrote a script with him in mind, and we didn't really
Whoa.
have any mutuals. I mean, like I feel like yeah, no one like I just took a shot in the dark. I was like, I actually also didn't have any backup plans
Yeah.
because it did not work without him. So
That's so funny.
yeah,
That's so cool. Were you also a big Good Luck Charlie fan? Like, was it a little surreal or?
yeah, it was really
Yeah.
trippy. It was
Yeah.
really trippy, and I felt like I was maybe because also I feel like everyone we worked with was a little bit older, so I don't feel like
Mhm.
everyone was as tripped out as I was. I think I
Yeah.
remember Peyton Kennedy, who she plays, um, Jamie, who's like the character kind of based off Kalynn.
Mhm.
Mm.
Um, I remember when I told her, she was like, oh, she freaked out. And I was like, okay, there's
Aw.
That's so
someone,
sweet.
yeah.
Aw.
But sorry, yeah, it was really trippy for me. It was,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'd say Good Luck Charlie was the last Disney Channel show I watched because I was like
Yeah.
yeah.
that was
Like
kind of the
same, I
tail end.
think.
It
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
was
was like
like
the end of an era for
yes,
Disney. But Good Luck Charlie
yeah.
was so good. Like
it
sometimes
was
clips
so
will come
good.
up on TikTok and I'll just
Yeah,
like literally like go down a rabbit hole of watching them and I'm like, it was so funny.
first YouTuber ish
Yes.
kind of
True,
Well, to
vlogging.
yeah.
me,
Yeah.
in general, what has it been like to transition from making like super personal content and being on YouTube to making like short films and getting more into the filmmaking space? Because I know, yeah, you had the 2022 short film, right, called
Yes.
Reply that you made.
Yes.
But yeah, like what has that transition been like?
It's been good. I think
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying it. I think I'm happy that I made the second short because I feel like it's been like because when I made the first short Reply, I didn't upload it to YouTube till like 2 years later.
Oh.
But and in that time I was like writing my just been writing like that feature. And so
Mhm.
I think kind of really I'm really enjoying using my platform in a way to like because I worked hard for that platform, and I think
Mhm.
it's like I'm enjoying this transition because I do think that um yeah, I've been enjoying like marketing it in a way and like having it live on my channel. It still feels like a portfolio and like a
Mm,
representation of these chapters of my life, in the same way that YouTube was, which was really nice.
mhm.
I think, yeah, I think I've been getting in the groove of it. I'm not sure if I would do another short, but like it's been really cool to tap into like TikTok and in Instagram reels and stuff and like kind of reintroduce myself as like a filmmaker,
Mhm.
and for it to be received pretty well, which is really cool to have like, and also like to have people, this has been new, like having people not know of me from YouTube but know of my like short films, and that, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
very strange because I'm like just I just assume, and most people I think
Yeah.
it's the YouTube stuff, but it has been happening more often. I think the more I like put myself out there like that,
Mhm.
Mhm.
um which is cool. I think that's really nice.
Yeah.
I'm I really do. I think I'm becoming more and more passionate about y- creatives using the internet as like a way to showcase their work and like gain an audience, because I think especially in the filmmaking industry, I think the music industry has always been kind of like, that's, you think Justin Bieber, Shawn Mendes, like it's always been a thing, but I think we're
Yeah.
evolving into like filmmaking too, because if you think about
Mhm.
Raka Raka, do you know them? They did Talk to Me, that new horror.
Oh, yeah,
They
Oh,
yeah.
were
yeah,
like
yeah.
full on YouTubers before. Like they weren't
Oh,
Yeah.
even
I didn't realize
doing,
that.
yeah.
I remember Mitch was like telling us about this and we like
Oh,
saw
yeah, yeah.
it.
I
Yeah,
forgot about
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like Bo Burnham.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
then there are more that I but no, it is like a
Yeah.
thing. Like I think it's like a great tool, and especially in the industry's like really hard and tough right now. I think that not a lot of projects are being made, or I just think it's like why not use these platforms where you can just go straight to the audience and like share your work. So I've been
Mhm.
more like advocating for that, and like I think, yeah, I don't know. I've been really enjoying this transition. I feel like a little bit more like my feet feel a little bit more on the ground, because I feel like
Mm.
there was a time where I felt like I was like, I don't know, I feel like I'm free falling.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
took a big leap, but like I feel like I'm like soaring.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. Wait.
I don't
That's really
no.
cool.
No, that's awesome.
You get what I'm trying to say, yeah.
um wait, and you said you're working on a feature now or you're still like
Yes.
writing it or okay. Do you have
Yeah.
like yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, are you able to share about it at all?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
well, I will say like I think that's just like goes to, I just want to say like I basically like, yeah, now I'm working with some people on it, and but they discovered me because of my other short Reply. They didn't know
oh,
me, but
okay.
so
Okay.
it's like I'm like, I don't know, I feel like,
You're getting
and
out there in terms
yeah,
of
I'm like,
filmmaking. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just,
really cool.
yeah, I'm just also like anyone who's, I keep like wanting to like encourage everyone else to like do that, because I just feel like I'm like, oh my gosh, like what a cool, I think it's a new wave, and I feel like I hope that
Mhm.
more people do that. But yes, I'm still writing, but like at least now I'm not alone, which is nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of new. That's like the past few months.
Okay.
But it is, if people watch the first one, it's like a queer coming of age romance.
Mhm.
Mm.
Um, and it's like kind of feels adjacent to the first one, first short, but different story. So I'd
Mm.
say that's all I can say, because I'm still
Okay.
writing
Right. That's
it.
exciting
I'm so
also to
excited.
like have someone writing something like that who was actually like also just like what we were talking about earlier, like there for like the evolution of like just that being more like accepted like online in the online space, and like you have such a good understanding of just like the internet, so I feel like
Mhm.
you're gonna make something really interesting with that.
Well, thank you. No,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's that real, like speaking of like what we've all been talking about, I actually do think I am incorporating like themes of like the internet, I guess, in the
Mhm.
way, like, yeah, it's definitely gonna feel like, it feels like the perfect first feature in terms of like
Mm.
my like past, and like, so yeah, I'm definitely tapping into the internet, but in a way that feels um grounded. I
Yeah.
feel like it
Yeah.
hasn't been captured in a authentic and like heartfelt way yet. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's basically all I can say about the feature.
Wait, that's so exciting
That's so
though, because
exciting.
I feel like as a kid, I was always like in the media I was watching once the internet did start like evolving really quickly. I was like, this feels so unrealistic to me as a movie. Like when it was incorporating social media and when it wasn't, like just like in general, like no one could really do it right. So I'm excited to see like people who were like, I feel like just like watching you age into like a role like this too, like and like get older and like become like more of like a filmmaking like presence like is really exciting because it's like wow the people who were there for it are doing it and that's
Yes.
really really like special I
The
think.
people who get it are now the ones that are actually doing it.
Yeah.
That's really
No,
cool.
yeah.
Mm.
No, yeah, I'm excited. I feel very passionate about it and like how it's I mean it's impacted me in a I like yeah, I love it. It's a beautiful place and I hope to do it justice.
As a like final question, is there like maybe like a dream project that you want to eventually make? Like, do you think you'll ever go back to YouTube in like a similar way you were on there before?
I guess I'm not closed off to it because I feel like I've been a lesson I've been learning in my life is like things I thought I'm pretty stubborn person and I'm like I know I'm never gonna like this and then I end up liking it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like open to anything. I think I definitely feel very passionate about like making this feature. This would be my the dream project as of right now. I do feel like I've been like toying with the idea. I'm like, what if like what a TV series maybe could be kind of cool. I was really closed off to it. I was like, I'm only gonna be only gonna make films, and now I'm like, wait, that could be really fun. So, yeah, I'm pretty open to everything. But I'd say my dream project is this one. I've been like writing it since 2022. So I'm
Whoa.
like, yeah, like I'm itching to get it.
Yeah.
out.
Wait,
So
that's really exciting.
yeah, I know.
It's
I'm
gonna feel
excited.
so good when it's like out there.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. But I'm happy that it's gone through. I feel like all the delays, I've been like impatient, but I'm like, honestly, it's if you in hindsight, it's like, oh, I needed that time.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
needed this time. So
There's divine timing for everything, I think.
yes.
Yeah.
Period.
Let me bring it there real quick. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. This is so
thank you
like
guys.
fun to like talk and like just like reflect like basically nostalgia porn about like all the stuff that was happening years ago.
The
But
trivia.
yeah, it was really fun.
No, thank you guys so much. This is really lovely.
We have one last thing.
Like who's gonna say it? Who's gonna
that we
say it?
have all of our guests to do because we started the podcast initially to try to get Josh Ovalle on. That was kind of like our bit. So we had like everyone say we're like over it at this point.
We're like really
Oh,
over
really?
it. We're
Stop.
like, Jesus, can he just come on so we can quit
Yeah.
it already?
Just
But I
say
also,
no. Or
I
it's
think
like I'm happy if he sends a DM and says no, stop bothering me. And then I think we could do
or just says
something.
no.
Yes, and we could do something really funny with that and then put an end to all of this. Either one would be great for me.
Well, okay, no, but also here's what I was thinking the other night, and I was telling this to Mira. I like sent her a voice memo last night, and I was like, I think we
Did
actually
not
have to
listen
take it
to
to the next. I was like, I think we actually have to take this thing to the next level. Like, I feel like we're not doing enough. Like, I feel like we need to like do some like Elle Mills types of like I was watching your videos where you like wanted to surprise me, and I was like, we gotta do like an Elle Mills moment with this where like we get like because he like used to like harass like Carly and Contra, and he like had this whole thing where he's like, "Say sorry, Carly," and like she like just like ignored him. And I was like, "What if we get her?" And then we get her to text him, and then she's like, "Hey, I'm ready to talk it out." And then at the end, he's like, "What? Carly and Contra is messaging me?" And then she's like, "Come on the internet, is that podcast?"
He's gonna literally file a restraining order against us.
I feel
we
like it's
have
not
like
like we
so
shouldn't have
many
started the
like
bit if we
pending
didn't
restraining
want.
orders against us. I fear.
We shouldn't
I
have
feel
started
like
the
you
bit if we
should.
don't want that to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. We'll talk about it.
I feel like I've seen a little bit. I've noticed this was a trend, so I like it. I think it's gonna once it happens, it will feel so rewarding.
It'll feel really rewarding. It'll be like the
good.
goal, and then after the goal gets met, you're kind of like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
we need
like
a
who's the
new
next
goal.
one? Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, we
But
sent
yeah, I
something
sent
in
it in the
chat.
chat.
Okay. Ovalle.
Yes.
Ovalle. Okay. IL Mills hereby requests Josh Ovalle for collaboration with the Internet is Dead podcast. Please, Josh, be a guest on the podcast. We miss you.
Thank
Thank
you so much.
you.
you.
Perfect.
Very
Thanks.
cute.
Think that's gonna help.
Yeah. Add it to
Okay,
the
cool.
list.